What's up, my good sis? Welcome to Friday morning devotion. Today's title is I was about to say topic. I put topic and title together. Let's get it right. Anyways, today's title is committed to God. Commit the thing to God. But before we get into that, we have been going through this devotional plan called Hurt versus Healed. So we've been addressing mindsets that hurt us and mindsets that heal us. And yesterday's was the mindset of defense versus the mindset of dependence. So defense versus dependence. And of course, we're talking about being dependent on God and not ourselves. And so the author brought up the word stronghold. He said that the definition of a stronghold is the definition of a stronghold biblically is any behavior we turn to as a means of holding to safety. So back in the Bible days where the countries are built, each place likely had a stronghold. It was a place that they would run to for safety, protection, anytime there was an attack. Also, some of the nations had walls built around them for protection. So anytime a place was under attack, sometimes they will be taken under siege, meaning the attacking country or tribe or whatever would come and surround the wall, surround the stronghold, cutting off access to outside resources. So all they had was what was within the city, the country, or the nation. They could not get anything on the outside because the attacking country was there. So if anybody left, they was going to get unalived, right? And so, with that being said, they sometimes it would get really crazy, and it reminded me of the siege of Samaria that is in Second Kings. It says the famine there was so severe that they had to sell a donkey's head for 34 ounces of silver. They were selling a cups of bird poop for 2 ounces of silver. There was two women in there. It says that there was a woman there, and she called out to the king to help her. When he asked what was the matter, she said that there was another woman in there who said, "Give us your son. We're gonna boil and eat him today, and then tomorrow we're gonna boil and eat my son." So the girl was like, okay, so she gave up her child. They boiled her child and ate her child. The next day, when it was time to eat the other lady child, the other lady hid her child. So she was trying to get some help because she done gave her child up and he's been consumed. And now it's time for the other child to be ate so that they can have something to eat. And she's hiding her kid. They can't find it. And so things in that siege in Samaria, things got that wild that they were doing crazy things. And that's the same thing that happens in the city of our mind when in our thought processes, our mindsets are being sieged by negativity, sieged by thoughts of the enemy, sieged by bad habits and disruptive patterns. Things start to get crazy in here, and we start to have thoughts of not wanting to be here anymore, hating ourselves, feeling inadequate, consumed by the fear of men, consumed by the fear of the unknown. When we do not have a strong fortress in the Lord, we do not have dependence in the Lord, our mind, our thoughts start to go absolutely crazy. And the craziest things will manifest from that. The craziest things. And so I want to remind you that you are one thought, no, run it back. You are one mindset away from changing your life. Because every reason to and not to do something starts in your mind. So you are one mindset away from changing your life from the better. One mind shift away from changing your life from the better. And on the contrary, you could be one mindset shift away from changing your life for the worse. So be mindful of that, okay? But today's title is Committed to God. Committed to God. And we're in 1 Kings chapter 6, verses 12 through 13. In this part of the Bible, the Lord is talking to Solomon. Solomon is in the process of building a house for the Lord. So God says, as for this temple you are building, if you walk in my statutes, observe my ordinances, and keep all my commandments, by walking in them, I will fulfill my promise to you, which I made to your father David. I will dwell among the Israelites and not abandon my people, Israel. So the Lord is saying, if you keep my ways and honor me, then I will dwell here. I will dwell in this place that you are building. I will dwell in. And he also told David that he would never not have an heir on the throne. And so the promise that God made to David is now trickling through the bloodline, and now it's sitting on Solomon. So let's go. In David's lifetime, he wanted to build a house for the Lord, which was and is an honorable thing to do and want. Because the Lord, what doesn't the Lord deserve from us? What don't he deserve? He deserves everything from us. So although David wanted to build this house for the Lord, for him to dwell in, God didn't allow it to come through by him, but it was through Solomon. He said, you're not going to build it, your son is going to build it. And so we see in 1 Kings chapter 6, we see that come to pass, where Solomon has taken seat on the throne, and now he has been given the provision and everything he needs to build this throne. God blessed this man Solomon so much that he had 12 deputies, and these 12 deputies cared for him. Each one they were like in rotating, one each month, every month. So one deputy and his team was responsible for taking care of Solomon each month. So they would cycle, and he had 12 deputies. And I'm like thinking, like, all that Solomon had, these people had to be wealthy to be able to take care of Solomon himself and his family and his wives and all the stuff he had going on. Even after he got all them 700 wives and them 13,000 concubines and all that stuff, they had to be wealthy to take care of him. And so the Lord set Solomon up so good. He set him up so good, and Solomon committed his works in building that temple and everything else that he built to the Lord. He wanted to follow in the footsteps of his father and honor the Lord. And when God even asked him, before this even happened, God asked Solomon once he took seat on the throne, he said, what do you want from me? And Solomon didn't ask for a bunch of stuff. He didn't say, I need $1 million, I need a new car, I need an outfit to match my new kingship throne chair or whatever. He said, I need wisdom. Solomon petitioned for wisdom to do his job well as a king, because he understood that these people that he was governing was a special people to God. And again, he wanted to follow the footsteps of his father and honor God. So God answered his request by giving him wisdom and riches, and Solomon worked. He worked, and the Lord supplied all that he needed to finish his product. So there may be something that you are working on in hopes that it is an honor to the Lord. There are some things that I'm working on in hopes that it is an honor to the Lord. And guess what? That's okay. You might not be working on a specific project, but you might be working on you. And you want to get yourself right so that your life is honorable before the Lord, so that you hear, well done, good and faithful servant. You may want to be healed so you can get rid of all the chains that are weighing you down from walking freely in God. And that is wonderful. That is wonderful, and it's important that we do that, because we see this promise started with David and it flowed down through his son Solomon. So the things that we're doing now are going to affect our children and our children's children and our children's children's children. It's going to affect your bloodline. You might be battling with some things now because of something your great grandma did. So it's very important in all that we do that we commit it to the Lord and know that the Lord has his eyes on me. The Lord has his eyes on you. He has his eyes on your household. So commit it to the Lord, and he is sure to show up through and around it. He is sure to show up as you commit your plans, commit your ways to the Lord. He is sure to show up, and you're going to see his hand working through and around those things. And sometimes that working may be a no. Sometimes that working may be a hold on, not yet. And guess what? That's okay too. That's okay too. God's no is not rejection. It is protection. It is Him guiding you to where the yes is. So don't count yourself out or get discouraged because something isn't working right away. You might need to tweak something. You might need to wait a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, committed to the Lord. So the question of the day is, what are you working on and why? And where do you see God's hand at in that thing? What are you working on and why? Is it yourself? Is it a business? Is it a ministry? Is it something in your family? Is it something in your health? Whatever. What are you working on and why? And where do you see God's hand in it? Some scriptures that you can go and reflect on is Proverbs 16:3, where it says, commit your activities to the Lord and your plans will be established. And then also, this one got me excited. So when that God originally gave David this promise in 2 Samuel 7, chapter 7, verse 18 through 19, this was David's response to the promise. He said, who am I, Lord God? And what is my house that you have brought me this far? So David is like, who am I, Lord, that you would consider me to take me this far in life? And now you're telling me that my son is going to build a temple? What do you mean? Who am I? He says, what have you done so far? What have you done so far was a little thing to you? What have you done so far that was little to you? God, for you have also spoken about your servant's house in the distant future, and this is a revelation for mankind. He said, what you have done so far was little, a little thing for you. And now you're speaking about my household in the future? Like what? These things are little things to God. Be encouraged and commit your works to the Lord, and He will establish your plans. I will be talking to y'all soon. August the 1st is our night of testimonies, so use the link and get yourself in the room. We are going to be testifying. We're going to be praying. We're going to be, hopefully, find somebody to do some praise and worship and singing. We're going to be prophesying. We are going to be encouraging. It's going to be a good time. This is not a paid event. This is a event of deliverance and healing and freedom, because we are set free. Come on, let me tell you this right quick. We are set free by the word of our testimony. So, and by every word that proceeded from the mouth of the Lord. So you need to be in this room. This virtual room is on Zoom. So use the link, register to come to the night of testimonies. Use the link also to join Women of Light Ministry of Restoration, where we gather every morning 6:30 for devotion. We have prayer thrusts every month, the first 3 nights. So yeah, that's it. Talk soon.